What a fight that was. The BMF fights never disappoint. Literally never disappoint. How many incredible moments and fights have we had on the BMF fight? And Max is doing a great job. We'll put it this way, for Dustin Poirier, if you're going to lose, that's how you lose. That was a mad fight. He hurt Max a lot of times. So I'll get into that with Dustin. I thought Dustin still looked great. Did some cool things. Still weathered the storm. He looked fit. He lasted the whole time. So you could even see in the shape that he was in, that he was definitely in incredible shape. So he put the work in. So that's one thing that he needs to be proud of his career, of who he's been through his career. Not only that, his preparation, who he was through that career, right? Like a guy that turns up in the gym and does what he needs to do. You can tell that he put everything into this. It was going to be a hard fight for him. Max is obviously a different fighter to what he was, back then. I know the questions we'll get into that later. The questions were going to be, will Max still be the same, or is he going to be different from the knockout? That was going to be a question. But if a good Max turns up, it's going to be a tough fight. His footwork, he now spin back kick. I remember breaking this down, and I was talking about the just everything that Max does differently from the first two times they met. And you've seen that tonight. It was much better of his range. I still thought Dustin had done well to land a lot of just sort of single stuff. Usually, like lately, you're just standard jabs, and that were, going to be pretty hard to find Max. You need to be quite creative to get yourself in a position to land on Max, especially when he's playing the sort of the strategic outside game and sort of in and out game, rather than him just pressing forward, which is what he used to do back in the day. But it still looked great. Nothing to be unhappy about with that. Obviously, you could see he was disappointed, but you shouldn't be disappointed with that. That was a great fight. Another BMF moment. So well done, Max. We'll get into actually the free picks. On my free picks, we'll put them up. I had Daniel Rodriguez. Only did the three. Daniel Rodriguez, Paulo Costa, and Max Holloway. And I think I said all three of them decision. And Paulo Costa's was decision too, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Did I say? I didn't mention. Okay, I just said for the win. But I mean, all underdogs, except for Max. I thought Max would be underdog. He wasn't the underdog, I don't think. But if he was, that means it was three underdogs. I went two massive underdogs with Daniel Rodriguez against Holland and Paulo Costa. Kopylov. Yeah, anyway. So big wins for them two guys. And Max just setting a statement. I'm going to give Max a moment right now to just say how incredible that was. It is not easy to come back from losses. He showed time and time again from big losses, not just little losses like world title losses, off like tears. Even our last one with our third fight, like to win the way I did, you're probably thinking, oh, am I done? You're going to start having them negative thoughts. For him to bounce back like he did and go on another tear and then have his moment with Justin Gaethje, already incredible. Then KO loss, first KO. So now, I said he's been back from big losses before, but never KO'd. How's he going to be in a BMF fight coming off a KO loss? And why I mentioned BMF, you got to... It's a BMF. You got to do these ones. You got to fight the fight. How are you going to do that coming off a KO loss, your first KO loss? That's going to mentally get you. Max, you know what I mean? I don't think it did. Even when he did get dropped, he still come back to what he was wanted to do. Still press forward. Like when I say press forward, he's still fighting at a good distance, but still plenty of offense, plenty of volume, even though it was a lot more strategic as he used to do. But incredible. Honestly, incredible fight from Max, and to come back like that, touche, mate. Here, that's what do I think's next? Who else? I mean, you got. Is it gonna be Paddy Pimblett?
He just called Ilya out, right?
Well, I mean, Max. I know he just fought him, But now it's in lightweight where they both sort of want to be. You got to think of who Max beat lightweight. You got to go off their lightweight fights, right? Max has beat the Justin Gaethje, who I think is number one contender, and Poirier, who's just fought for the title. So he's literally beat the two top guys, main guys that you need to beat to usually get the title shot. His only fights in lightweight. Well, his tear right now, his streak, and against the two top guys. You'd say he would be next. You would think so, right? Or your Arman. Obviously, Arman was there. I don't know what's the deal with that. Obviously, Arman Sarukian's probably meant to be the guy. Paddy Pimblett. They did the face-off. Yeah, they did the face-off. There's a bit of bad blood. I don't know if that's happening. I don't know if that's locked in. But if it is, all right, so be it. But I mean, with Max's next fight could probably be for the title. I think that would be fair. We'll see what happens. If not, maybe another BMF fight. But I agree with what he said. He kept it short because he wanted to give Dustin his moment. And he was just saying, if you want the BMF, come get it. Otherwise, I want to settle some beef with the champ. And so that's what it was. It was like, BMF, come at me. If I got to wait, I won't wait too long. Let's do BMF. Otherwise, let me fight Ilya for the title, which will be interesting. We haven't really seen Max dropped like that. He was like getting hurt. I don't know. I hate saying it, right? Like, cause you talk about it, but I mean, is the chin exactly the same? I don't know. I don't know if I can say it is. So, but that's what I mean. If they fight again or moving forward, Max just can't rely on his chin like he used to. Got to be a bit more strategic. I think he got hit quite a bit in this one. I thought he would not get hit as much. I thought he'd be a little more strategic and play on the outside a little bit more, which he was doing great. But then he started getting in a position where Dustin could land just even short jabs and just, obviously southpaw, so that lead hand's a bit closer. He was landing them pretty clean, even just straight twos. Not even with real setups were starting to land. Usually that wouldn't. Earlier on, you wouldn't have seen them punches landing. Maybe he was still hurt, maybe because of him getting dropped. Maybe that's when they started landing. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. Incredible performance from Max. Again, not many people can come back from losses, let alone knockout losses. Let alone knockout losses in a BMF fight, be up again and still point to the ground and say, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, he really is a BMF. That's like, I wouldn't do that. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do that. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll be like, yeah, okay, and then I'll just pick my shot where it is. You come here, I'm going to be a little strategic, you know what I mean? Like, that's just how I've always been and always will be. And I'm proud of that, you know what I mean? I haven't made a lot of people probably say I would be BMF purely because I'll fight anyone, anywhere, not scared of nobody, short notice, in that type of way. I will. But I get in there, I'm going to fight the right way to get, even though my fights are still going to be exciting, they're still, fun. I'd probably still take a lot more risk than most people, but I still make sure, I'm blending that risk and strategy together a bit better than just let's go. So credit to anyone that does that. I haven't properly, and I've sort of sat on punch, but made sure I was in the right position while I'm doing so. I even done that a little bit with Max. Max did it. I'm like, yeah, all right. Threw a punch, got back out. I was like, yeah, if you want to come in, I'll land one on you, then I'll be gone. But again, credible career from Dustin Poirier. Shout out to Max, bouncing back like that. Very impressive. I remember talking to Eugene saying, if he bounces back from this, that's so impressive. And it is. So credit to you, Max, for Paulo Costa and Daniel Rodriguez. Big wins. Pitbull, I didn't do the picks for Pitbull, and I always say bet. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I always say bet. I never say picks. But the more I talk about it, it's probably the worse it is. Just leave it. I'm digging it deeper, am I? Well, no, I didn't do it, so I don't need to worry. But anyway, back to it. Pitbull. I didn't do the picks on that fight. But I mean, it was still a pretty close fight. I thought Deniga did great. People got the win. I think that was fair. But yeah, I think, obviously he was coming in and we're expecting him to see him pretty soon. I don't know, did he call out? I don't know if he did a call out. Maybe he tried to call me, I'm not sure, but I don't think that makes sense. He probably needs another big win. We'll see what happens, but yeah. Anyway, UFC 318, some great fights, and that main event was awesome. So again, shout out to Dustin Poirier, shout out to Max Holloway, bringing us a great fight of the BMF title. Well done. What's up, guys? Volk here. Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell to keep yourself notified. I appreciate every single one of yous.